This lesson is on unit rates. I want you to consider this scenario. This is a ratio scenario. To replicate a famous lemonade recipe, you need 3 lemons for every 4 cups of sugar water. So 3 to 4 is the ratio of lemons to cups of water. But what if you want to replicate this recipe? You have sugar, you have water, but 1 lemon. You can't get a ride to the grocery store. You really want the lemonade. What happens to the recipe? Is 1 lemon and 4 cups of sugar water going to give you the same taste of lemonade? I don't think so. So what if I only have 1 lemon? How much sugar water would you need? This is where a unit rate comes into play. The definition of a unit rate is a ratio in which the second unit is 1. Like I said, if you need 1 lemon, we're going to find out how much sugar water I need. Consider this here. We already know that for 3 lemons, we need 4 cups of sugar water. So if I had more lemons, I would need more sugar water. So if I had 6 lemons, what have I just done from 3 to 6? I multiplied by 2. I've doubled it, right? I doubled the lemons. If I double the lemons, what do I need to do to the sugar water? I need to double it. So from 4 cups of water, I would need 8 cups of water. So I want you to notice that this relationship here is a multiplicative relationship. I bring this to your attention because you could say I added 3 lemons here, right? But if I add 3 cups of water, sugar water, is that going to maintain the recipe? It's not. This is a multiplicative relationship. So if I multiplied by 2 to get there, I would need to multiply this by 2 as well. So here I've taken this table, this part of it, and I've moved it down here. And I want you to think about it in reverse. To get from 6 lemons to 3 lemons, think multiplicatively now. I divide by 2 to get to 3, right? So I would divide 8 by 2 to find out that I needed 4 cups. But if I have 3 lemons and I want to get to 1 lemon, how do I get from 3 to 1 multiplicatively? I divide by 3, right? 3 divided by 3 is 1. We've been doing this. So divided by 3. And so if I divided by 3 for this part of the recipe, I need to divide by 3 for the water part of the recipe. Okay, 4 divided by 3. So that would look initially like this, right? 4 divided by 3. How else can we say 4 divided by 3? 4/3. 4/3 is equivalent to 1 1/3 cup of water. So there you go. For every 1 lemon, 1 1/3 cups. So if I know the unit rate, then I can make any recipe. If I know that if I have 1 lemon, how much water I need, then I could have 35 lemons, and I would just multiply 35 lemons by 1 1/3 cups of sugar water, and that would tell me how many cups of sugar water I need. So 3 lemons for every 4 cups of sugar water. If I have 1 lemon, I divide 4 by 3. We just did that. So 4/3 cups, or 1 1/3 cups of sugar water are needed. That unit rate, because the second number is 1, is 1 1/3 to 1. 1 1/3 represents the cups of sugar water, and 1 represents the lemon. Likewise, you could say it the other way too. It doesn't make it wrong. If I have 1 cup of sugar water, how many lemons do I need? Interesting. Well, this way, you do the opposite. So I divide 3 by 4 now. So 3/4 of a lemon. Remember, 3 divided by 4 looks like this, but we can call this 3/4 as well. 3/4 of a lemon is needed for 1 cup of sugar water. Now that unit rate is 3/4 to 1. 3/4 of a lemon, that seems really strange. It's possible if you have 1 cup of sugar water and 1 lemon, you wouldn't want to put the whole lemon in because it would be more sour. So remember, you want to keep the recipe the same, and the unit rate will make that possible. So here are some examples. Find the unit rate. Jenna takes her bike and rides for 15 miles in 3 hours. So the unit rate would be, well, how many miles per hour? Remember, the unit rate, the second unit is 1. We're used to saying miles per hour. You could say hours per mile as well, and we'll talk about that in class, but miles per hour. If I had 15 miles in 3 hours, how many miles is that in 1 hour? Well, how do I get from 3 to 1? Divide by 3. So I'm going to divide both of these numbers by 3, and I will see that it's 5 miles in 1 hour. And we say this unit rate as 5 miles per hour. Simple enough? Maybe? How about another one? Jake bought 12 apples for $6. Well, we could say 12 apples for $6, how much for $1? That's one way. We could also say how much for 1 apple. That's not even on here. But we could do that. Try that in your notes. But 12 apples for $6, how many apples for $1? Well, I divide both by 6, so I'm dividing by this second number. Here, I did that up here as well. And so I see that it's 2 apples for $1. 2 apples for $1. Try it the other way. How much for 1 apple? Try it. See what you get. Here's another one. Karen drove at a rate of 65 miles per hour on her way to Arizona. How many miles did she travel in 2 hours? What about 5 hours? What do you notice about 65 miles per hour? That is a unit rate. The second unit is 1. What did I tell you? If you know the unit rate, you know everything. It's awesome. How many miles did she drive in 2 hours? Well, how do you turn 1 into 2? You don't add 1. You multiply by 2. So 1 times 2, 65 times 2, tells you that you go 130 miles, that's a 30, in 2 hours, right? Again, if we have 65 miles in 1 hour, how about 5 hours? Well, if I multiply by 5/5 like this, I'm multiplying by 1 and keeping the ratio the same. Well, 65 times 5, well, I know 1 times 5 is 5 hours. 65 times 5 takes a little bit of additional work for me. This is 32, 325 miles in 5 hours. Cool, right? Could I find out how many miles she drove in a half hour? What would I do? Think about that. And here's another real-world scenario with unit rates. Love it. It's called trying to find the better buy. Okay, so if you are in the business of buying DVDs, you want to expand that Blu-ray collection. Well, at Walmart you can get 4 for $20. At Blockbuster you can get 7 for $28. What's the better deal? What do you want to know? How much for each movie, right? Well, let's set up a ratio. At Walmart, it's $20 for 4 movies. I just made a ratio, right? I could also consider this a division problem, because a ratio is 2 units being compared by division. This is $20, 4 movies. At Blockbuster, it's $28 for 7 movies. If I wanted to find out how much 1 is, 1 movie, well, divide by 4, correct? And remember, I'm allowed to do that, that's 1. 4 divided by 4, that's 1 movie. 20 divided by 4, $5. So this is $5 for 1 movie. Cool. I can handle that. $5 bin. Awesome. How about over here? 28 divided by 7. Well, if I wanted to find out how much 1 movie is, well, I would divide by 7 each one. 28 divided by 7, that's $4. $4 for 1 movie. Consider this. If it's $4 for 1 movie at Blockbuster, Blockbuster may be tanking, but guess what? They have a better deal than the $5 bin at Walmart. What's the better buy? Blockbuster, which we found by creating a unit rate. Here you go.